How we doing? Welcome to the chat. Again, this is Parker Bell. We are here for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Let's go, Dodgers. We'll be getting corporate Greg Bergman here in just a sec. But again, super excited. I will go ahead. All right, Greg has joined and will be right in. Let's effing go. That's what they say. Dodgers fans. I was watching the Laker game when this happened, so, might need to cover this up. That was not the outcome we wanted for the Lakers, but we got an early Christmas gift from the Dodgers. 12 years, $375 million total outlay, which is just absolutely insane. Or 12 years, $325 million officially. I'm accepting Greg to hop in, so he'll be joining me as well. Yamamoto is what we are talking about today. Thank you for joining us on the Emergency Blue Review Live. Greg is unable to join, but we will fix that. So, again, if you haven't ever watched Blue Review, we are sponsored by LAX. We'll be putting episodes weekly during this off season so that you can follow along on some of the Dodgers news. And here we have the original host of the Blue Review, Greg Bergman. Welcome to the live on ESPN. How are we feeling?
What's up? I feel like this is all we do now around here. We do Instagram lives to say that somebody's joining the Dodgers for a lot of money and a lot of years.
That's right.
Just the way. Parker, let me just tell you this one thing. This is what the power of ESPN Los Angeles is right here. You can listen on 710. You can listen to Rams postgame where they just had a huge win over the New Orleans Saints and getting one step closer to the playoffs. It was a tough game for the Lakers, but Beto Duran is doing Lakers postgame right now that you can go call into him and talk about the loss, and you can come over to Instagram Live and hear live reaction about the Yoshinobu Yamamoto signing all at the exact same time. I mean, that's pretty incredible if I do say so myself.
I think ESPN LA, the reach, it's pretty remarkable.
It's pretty out there, but let's just talk about this now for a second. So, Yoshinobu Yamamoto signs for 10 years, $325 million. It had about a $50 million posting fee. Did I say 10? 12. 12 years. 12 years.
Why those balloons just went off. Yes.
$325 million with a $50 million posting fee. So it's actually 12 years, $375 million with, I know everyone wants to know about it, no deferrals. He's not going to be like Ohtani. He doesn't have that outside money making going on just yet. So he did not defer any of his money, and he gets that $50 million up front. So two guys, over $1 billion for the two guys in Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto. It's just absolutely bananas. And they had to do it. What was your first thought?
Well, so we have had this breaking news in the template. We've had this ready for about the past week because we just had the feeling, unfortunately, if there's any Giants fans, which I don't know why there would be in this chat, I'm sorry, because the last couple of years, Giants are just like, do you want us? And everybody's like, no, we don't want you. So we knew that it would come down to New York and LA. So we had it ready. And when it happened, I might get some flack for the streamer lights in the room. I'm not at my room. I'm just gonna put that out there.
It's okay. It's what you have going on in the background is totally fine. Just allow it to happen. Let it go.
Yeah. No. So the initial reactions to the deal, once I saw that there was no deferral and I saw that this was the full, and the posting fee, so about $375 for the 12 years, I just thought, wow, this is it's record breaking. We just committed to what the Dodgers to believe the best pitcher of. How do you want to put this? Almost all time in terms of the contract we're giving.
Yeah, it is the highest contract of all time. It's $1 million more than what the Yankees gave to Garrett Cole, the highest paid pitcher in the history of the game, with the biggest contract. So, and there's also a little bit of news. So you can, as I've been reading about it, the Mets offered him the exact same contract, 12 years, $325 million. He turned it down to come here. Apparently, the Yankees offered 10 years, 300, somewhere around there. And I don't know why they would do that. If you are really serious, if you're a team like the Dodgers that are saying, we're not going to be outbid if that's what we want, you have to go higher than 10 years. Then you have to go to what the deal is. I'm sure his people said, hey, the Dodgers and the Mets are offering us 12, 325. And they said, nah, we don't want to do that. And the biggest thing is, I wonder if it's because of Garrett Cole, like, oh, we
Mm.
can't bring this guy and give him more money than Garrett Cole. But if that's actually the case and that's what happened, that's total speculation on my part.
Yeah.
That would be nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
No, I agree. If this ended up down to a pride thing, I would just flat out. I mean, how could you like just do that as an organization? But again, it also could just be that they feel comfortable enough with what they got, and I think they're just saying, all right, well, the Dodgers are in the NL, so as long as it's not the Mets, well, as long as it's not
You
I guess
say you say that
teams
they're
NL,
comfortable where they're at. They didn't make the playoffs.
yeah, you're right.
They have a
You're right.
GM in Brian Cashman that called out one of their best players in Giancarlo Stanton, saying that he's going to get injured. That what's going on in New York is a mess. There's no other way to put it. Missing the playoffs and then having Stanton and Cashman kind of going at it, and Stanton's having his agent getting all upset. It's a big deal what's going on over there. But either way,
Soto's not Soto's not the answer. I mean, just ask the Padres.
well, I mean, you need more than one. I mean, they have a scary team even with Soto, but they need more. And you know what the funny thing is? Like, look at what this rotation now looks like for the Dodgers, because we should talk about the Dodgers, not the Yankees.
Yeah,
it's now Yoshinobu Yamamoto, or it's probably Glasnow Yamamoto, Bobby Miller, Sheehan, and then when Walker Buehler gets back, there's that. But I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna seem a little crazy. I don't think they're done. I think they're still.
This is
going to try.
What everybody in the chat saying. That's what everybody in the chat is saying. So we know that the back end. Sorry, but yeah, we know that the back end of the bullpen needs to be bolstered up, and everybody's kind of clamoring to this rumor about Hader, and just because he's a huge name, again, we're seeing, because of what Shohei did, we're already seeing the ramifications of it. We're already seeing it's already justified. Yamamoto, we would have thought, if Shohei had taken the contract as is, we would have said, okay, Yamamoto is on the East Coast. He's not coming to the Dodgers. But here we are. Because of Shohei's decision, we're seeing guys like Yamamoto, and now all these names that might start trickling down join the Dodgers. So, I mean, this is an exciting time for the Dodgers. But I'm seeing the chat, they're kind of pointing out that like fans, like Astros fans and Yankees fans who are bitter right now, saying Dodgers just buying a championship. I mean, how do you feel about that? Like, what are your
So yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, you're buying a championship. You bought Shohei Ohtani, you bought Yamamoto, and by the way, this is what Shohei Ohtani wanted. This is why he deferred $680 million to do this. He did this so that they can go and grab other guys. They can go and grab Yamamoto for this huge contract, 12 years, which is out of control, and probably still get more. When you're talking about Josh Hader, I think that one's still a little bit far off. The only way I think that one's going to work if he agrees to a shorter contract and to a contract that is maybe has some outs or things like that, because he's apparently what he wants is 7 years and a little over $100 million. So it's around an $18 million average AAV. And that's probably a little bit more than you want to give to a closer. I mean, look, Evan Phillips is a fantastic closer. He did a great job last year. Obviously, Josh Hader will be better, but at the same point, you don't want to give that much money to a back of end of the bullpen guy. You don't want to give that many years to the back end of the bullpen guy. They're too up and down. It's just not the right way to go. I think if they're going to go after more people, they're going to go after guys like Lucas Giolito still, who is kind of up and down. I think they may still try and trade for a guy like Dylan Cease, who's still out there. That's a possibility, but they're gonna get more pitching. They will bring in bullpen. Andrew Friedman doesn't really like to go after bullpen pieces. He thinks it's too volatile, and I am 100% in agreement with that.
Yeah, a lot of renting and on the fly type buys with the bullpen. So a lot of people in the chat are asking Greg about Kershaw.
Yeah.
We know he had the surgery and when he'll be back, but some of them are saying, does this mean he won't be back, or are we waiting on Kershaw now, or is there going to be news in terms of a deal? What do you think on that?
Come on, it's tough to do what he's going to do. I mean, if he does come back, which is actually the best point for him to come, if he pitches this year at all, it's not going to be till the end of August, early September, and that's kind of when you want him to come back. If he's healthy at that point, then you can give him about 3 weeks to a month to ramp up and be at his normal self, like his April, May, June self in October, that's what you want. But I mean, how that goes, the surgery goes, and all that is going to be up in the air. I'm not sure if he's going to be back this year, but I wouldn't count out Walker Buehler coming back at some point this year. He's not ready apparently right now, but he will be at some point, you'd assume. So now you're talking Yamamoto, Glasnow, Bobby Miller, and then Walker Buehler as your top four. And when all that's said and done, that's a strong rotation. And again, not done. So I think there's so many things to be excited for about this Dodger team.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100%. I know we need to work on the back end, maybe of the lineup a little bit, with, Outman kind of leading the charge on that end. But other than that, it's like CT3, do we trust him as an everyday starter? We might make some moves over there. But sticking on the rotation, while we're kind of reacting to the Yamamoto pitcher news, with who's left, we're assuming with the deal of this nature, we probably most likely are not going to go after a guy now like Snell or Montgomery, because their contract now has just gone through the roof because of Yamamoto's contract, one would assume. So what are we thinking, the guys like Giolito, maybe a Stroman, somebody like that, who I don't know Stroman's exact deal situation right now, but I don't think he's gotten any signings.
I haven't seen anything with Stroman, but I think that he's definitely going to get a big deal out there. It's going to happen. So he's probably out of the price range, but I love Stroman. I think it would be great. I think Giolito probably makes the most sense because it's the guy that the Dodgers will feel that they can bring him in and fix him. He obviously was a very good
Shohei too.
Right. He knows that. He knows all the guys. He was a good pitcher not too long ago. He just kind of fell apart. You saw him with the Angels. He totally fell apart. And then he went to the Cleveland. What's their new name now? Cleveland Guardians. Thank you. I want to say Indians, but you don't want to say Indians. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but yeah. So he was bad with the Guardians, and Andrew Freeman, Mark Pryor, all those dudes. They feel like you can come here and get fixed. So Giolito would make the most sense, and it's probably a small deal. Maybe it's a thing like, remember Tyler Anderson came over, didn't get signed for that much, and then left to go get more money somewhere else after just fixing himself for a year. That was what was supposed to happen with Noah Syndergaard. Didn't happen, but I think Giolito is a better instance of what that would be.
I see DeAndre Hawkins, producer D, in the chat.
D-Hawk
already coming at our boy Dave, saying if the Dodgers don't win this year, what happens with Dave? I mean, it's too early, of course, but is the front office and Andrew Friedman and all these moves that we're making, is this putting extra pressure on just Dave himself?
So Dave has to have a lot of pressure on him, but it's at this point, now that Andrew Friedman is safe, Mark Walter is safe, and that was all in the Shohei Ohtani deal, they're just going to say, like, obviously it's working. We're bringing guys in, and we have the best players in the world right now: Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, and we're not sure what Yamamoto is, but we can say Yamamoto too. That they're just not going to. They probably won't ever fire him at this point. I think as long as they make it to the playoffs, I am not of that opinion. I think if they make it to the playoffs and they don't make it to the World Series and really not win the World Series, that he should be let go. If he loses before the World Series, he should not be around anymore because it's just not working. But that's just not how I think they're going to do it. They say over and over again that they're bigger than U.S. Steel, like Morales says, and that's how they feel because look what they're doing. They're getting it all. But Roberts should be on the hot seat, but I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Interesting. Yeah, I think we'll get more into this when we do perhaps an episode of Blue Review. If you just joined us, Greg and I are a part of a YouTube-only show that we do for ESPN LA called Blue Review. You can tune in. You can watch the past episodes on our YouTube. But we'll be doing more throughout the off season, maybe once a week. We'll be adding, can we call him producer? I mean, board op Cody, maybe. I don't know where we're calling him
producer Cody. That works.
Yeah. But we can add Cody, and Cody will do some episodes with us, and you'll get more Dodgers news as we go along. But if you're just joining us, Yoshinobu Yamamoto has signed a deal with the Dodgers, 12 years, $325 million, with a $50.6 million posting fee. So we are just reacting because, like we did for Shohei, we are so excited for the Dodgers in this season. Greg, I mean, do you have anything more you kind of want to react to while we're here?
I mean, I just want to say, just kind of repeat it, but they're not done. The Dodgers are not done. I think the World Series is a must, and I think it's a must this year. It's at that point now to appease Dodger fans and show what by signing all these guys, that's what they're here for tonight. I think that's all very important. I also think this is exactly what Shohei Ohtani wanted when he came here, and they
Yep.
discussed it, and they're falling through, and it is now squarely on the Dodger management and front office to get these wins down. And it's just fantastic. I love seeing it. And also, the last thing I want to say, and then I'll let you give your closing thoughts. ESPN 710, where you get everything live and in your face for the biggest things that happen in LA sports. Rams win, you get to have it's on 710. Lakers had a tough game, but you can react to that right now with Beto Duran on the Lakers postgame show. And you can come to Instagram Live and hear about the Yoshinobu Yamamoto signing all at the same time. That doesn't happen anywhere else. That's why this is so special. And thank you very much for doing this, Parker.
Yeah, no, there's a reason we are the number one followed sports radio station across social media platforms. And I'm excited that we got to do this too. So I will close out with I want to kind of save face my journalistic integrity, but I did have a source, and this can be confirmed that Yamamoto was in fact at the game tonight.
Oh, he was there? He actually was? I know Shohei was, but wow, he actually did
So,
show up.
without again like ruining my integrity, but there was a Rams employee who did confirm that he was in the box, the owner's box. So like you asked me at the beginning of this live, what was your reaction? I believe in my heart that it was over by the time, like, when the Rams game was starting. I understood Yamamoto was on the way. And plus there were reports already coming out. I think it was Giants beat reporters saying he's out. The Giants are out.
Yeah, I
It's
saw that.
between New York and LA, and that was a huge sign for me. So again, Yamamoto is a Dodger. This is exciting, and I'm glad that we got to react live on IG. We will have more reactions on the Blue Review presented by LAX. Follow us across all social media platforms, just at ESPN Los Angeles. And that's it. I'm Parker Bell, and I'm with corporate Greg, producer Greg.
And there's going to be reaction on 710 all day long, starting with Travis and Sliwa in the morning, but it's Andy Kamenetsky and Brian Kamenetsky, and then it's going to be on Mason and Ireland, and then Sedano and Cap. It's all happening tomorrow on 710.
That's right. Thank you for joining us, and tune in tomorrow to 710. We'll see you there.
Let's go Blue.
Let's go.